Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see. I'm getting an error message. That's all I need. You just never know with Facebook Live. All right. I think we are live. Hang on just a second here. Okay, next. All right. I think we're good. Oops. All right. I'm just unsure here. Hang on. Let me before we get. I apologize because I always am a little concerned. Let me make sure. Can anybody just tell me if you see me? That's always one of those things, right? It's like, okay, are we live? I'm just trying to make sure real quick. Facebook is asking me to. All right. So I'm getting a text from Rhonda. All right. She says we're live. All right. We're going to go with it then. All right. Excellent. Okay. So apologize for the craziness this morning. Welcome to the Marketing That Grows Your Business show. Today, we are going to be talking about specifically online courses and how to create an online course that actually sells. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat right out the gate. I have sold a ton of online courses over the years. In fact, I'll tell you a little bit more about my story as we get going. And I believe we have come to a crossroads in the space, meaning we need to understand that I believe, I'll just say that based on my own experience. I've been at this for 30 years. So I am seeing that there's a shift in the space. And the shift is that I think there's people that have bought the courses, they've done the thing. And for us as people who have knowledge or skills or expertise that would like to package that and sell it in a way that people want it, we have to understand that a lot of people have done the thing. They bought the courses and it hasn't gotten the transformation they thought it would. So there's a golden opportunity right now for those of us who really step up to, doing this in a way that is going to really attract our person and give them the transformation that they're looking for. So, okay. All right, so we are saying that Facebook is not working. So hang on, let's just see if we can get this moving. All right, we're starting from scratch because it looked like it took me a minute to get live on Facebook. All right, so here we go. I'm just clarifying this real quick, making sure. Looks like we're good. It's always something, with Facebook Live or with live across the board, you just never know for sure. And there's always hiccups, So my team is like hitting me up like, okay, you're live now. Fresh. When you have tech issues, it's always like your heart races and you're like, crud, like I just don't need this today. But that's okay because I've learned to roll with the flow. It's just what it is. So welcome to the Marketing That Grows Your Business show. Today, I know I'm doing a little bit of a reset for those of you over on LinkedIn and other places that we were live on. But I want to share that today we're going to be talking about how to create an online course that actually sells. And I'm going to approach this from a very new perspective versus what everybody else out there is potentially telling you or what you may even think you know. So I'm excited that you're here. As you're coming in, just give me a shout out. Where in the world are you? John is saying, yeah, tech and I have a love-hate relationship. Yes. Like, the reality is you can't help it, like, right? So sometimes these platforms just do what they want to do. You just have to roll with the punches. But it sometimes makes me a little irate. I won't even lie. Now, if it's my problem, that's a whole different thing, because sometimes I'll be truthful. It is my problem. But that little problem was not mine. That was a Facebook issue. I'm just saying. It wasn't my fault. Anyway, but I'm excited that you guys are here. Good morning, Greg. Good morning. I have your book, my friend, right here hang on, on my top of my desk. Cyber Wars. So, guys, this is a very creative book. It's about basically our security, online security, but it's got a cyber theme. So super, super clever. I just thought, since Greg was in the audience, I thought I would pull it up or tell you guys about it, because it's a very clever little book. Literally got it right here on my desk. I've been thumbing through it, getting amazing tips and strategies from it. Morning, Chuck. Good morning, Nancy. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Okay, so some of you that are like regulars know that I've been around for a long time. I've been in the online space almost 31 years. I'm whispering because it sounds surreal, honestly. Part of me is like, 31, almost 31 years, but my oldest son is almost 31. Hard to believe that I have a child it's that old, and two, that I've been doing this for so long. But one of my value sets, I think, or maybe I call it, everybody's got a genius power or superpower, whatever word you want to call it, is that I see trends that are shifting or potentially moving in different directions, because I've been doing it for so long. It's not that I'm like a super genius or anything. It's just because I've been doing this for a long time. And I believe the online course space is shifting. How many of you guys have an online course? Put your hand up. If you have an online course, I would love to know, just kind of getting a litmus test. If you have an online course and you're struggling to sell it, love to know that. Or the other scenario is you have amazing knowledge, you have systems, you have expertise, you have something that someone else needs to know, but you haven't packaged it yet. You haven't created that online course yet. So Greg is saying, yes, he has a course. And Chuck has got an amazing course. He's in my Design to Scale program, and we're learning how to sell what he knows at a much, much higher price point. And I think that's the shift, honestly. So I'll just tell you what the shift is. People that have been, trying to sell their courses at a low ticket price, and I'll say, $597, $997, even $2,000, which a lot of people say, well, that's a lot. I feel like those are what I call figure it out yourself courses. And I think that the figure it out yourself courses, we've all done it. We've all bought those courses, and they haven't gotten the transformation. And it's not necessarily the course creator's fault. In many cases, it's our fault because we didn't go through the course. And I think that's part of the problem that we need to understand, is we need to understand that's a dynamic, and how do we fix it, if we're trying to make a real impact. So good morning. All right. So a couple of quick housekeeping things. If you know somebody that would like to create an online course and they haven't done it yet, or if they have an online course and they're not selling it like they would like to, just tag them, sprinkle this out into the world. Let's talk about this, because it's a core problem, and I'm going to offer you some solutions today. So feel free to sprinkle it out. We are doing a slightly different thing today with our giveaway. We're going to be giving away something that I'm going to talk about at the end of today's call. But everybody can win. All right. So it's totally nothing you have to buy. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm only here to give you value, always. So I don't want you to think, hey, well, she's just leading me to a sale. I'm not. Absolutely not. So we're going to do just something slightly different. If you feel like you can't stay, but you want this knowledge, then just type in notes, and we'll send you the show notes after we get them all formatted for you. Give us about 24 hours, because sometimes it takes us that long to get them done. But if you'll do that, then Kimmy the bot will put you on the list for the notes, and we'll make sure you get those, because I know we're busy, right? And sometimes you forget to, what did she say about that? So this will be a great way for you to, make sure you don't miss anything, and you don't have to worry about writing down notes or taking notes yourself. So again, just drop those in. We'll make sure you get those. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my screen, and I do have a little thing that I'm going to share with you today. And the interesting part about what we're getting ready to talk about is, like I said before, this is something that I see. A lot of what I'm getting ready to share with you is components of maybe what you might know already, but you might not have applied it to what you are doing or how you think about things, because I don't believe that most people are talking about this. So the topic again is how to create an online course that sells. And I asked this question before, like, for example, who has a course? Several of you said you have a course, but how many of you want a course, but you don't know where to start? And that's what I find a lot of times is people that come my way, they're like, okay, I have this system. Maybe they're doing Facebook ads for others, and they're like, I have a system for that. And I think I could teach it if I just knew how to package it and message it and that kind of thing. Or, maybe they're a social media manager and they have a process, or, they help online business owners create systems in their business. And, they do that one-to-one. If they're a service provider and they have, they're trading time for money and they've reached an income barrier, or an income ceiling, because there's no more time. Those are the types of people that need to package what they know and sell it. But sometimes they don't know where to start. And starting, frankly, is half the battle. And by the time you get through with today's training, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I could do this. I could do this in like a week. Like, seriously. So hang in there with me, because I'm going to show you how you can do this. Creating courses has been, in my experience, and others will tell you the same thing. It's the most amazing way to get your story, your expertise, and your skill sets in, and package them in such a way that it makes a big old impact on those who need it the most. And as educators, it's a way to scale what we know. It's a way to help more people, because if we can package what we know in such a way that it makes a difference, then the impact for that means that you can actually help more people. So that is a huge value win when it comes to online courses. But I'm going to tell you some truth here that a lot of people are not telling you. All right. And I'm saying this from a loving place. So I'm getting ready to share some harsh realities with those of you who have knowledge and you haven't created a structure for sharing that knowledge. Okay. So the lonely man or woman who is struggling to find their other half because a relationship coach would rather build and sell a cheap course. If you feel that is you, in the context of you've got a course, but it's super cheap because you feel like your person won't pay for what you know, just say ouch real quick, because this is an ouchie. Okay. Or what about the small business owner who is struggling to pay the bills or take their sweet families on a vacation because the right marketing consultant would rather write a book for credibility than actually provide real help? Wow. Ouch. Right? So if you are hiding behind all the things that you think you need to create visibility in your business, I'm not knocking visibility. I'm just saying, if you're using it as an excuse to not take action on a course, then just say it. Ouch. Own it. Okay. Or the man or woman who is drowning under the burden of excess weight, perhaps disease, because the right health coach is hiding behind blog posts and Instagram pics. Ouch, right? So, and I'm not saying that those things are not important, but I'm also saying that you have an incredible knowledge and value. And if you're not shining it in helping, letting that knowledge and value help the people that you can help, because you're so busy doing the other things, that's a problem. So again, hide your face for a second and then kick that crap to the curb, because there's no sense in beating yourself up over it. Let's just find a way through it, okay? Because you do have incredible value that matters to someone else. Like I said before, the biggest issue across the board, usually when I'm working with clients, is how do they start, and more specifically, how do they start the right way today? This industry, the online course space, is projected to be like 360 billion by 2026. But most are still not selling what they have. Even if they have an online course, they're hearing crickets. So again, I'm going to tell the truth, because a lot of people don't tell you these things. A lot of people, if you have a course, whatever you price it at, you do the product launch. Well, you scrape the cream off the top the first time around, and maybe you make a little bit of money. But the next time you do a product launch, it's like, and you put all that work into it, because that's work, it's crickets again, because you don't have that same, you've already scraped the cream off again, the top. So you have to sink a lot more money into building your community bigger in order to get more people to buy your course. Or if you are doing, evergreen webinars, everybody talks about evergreen webinars, but if you're actually doing that, the money math doesn't work for you long term. Again, nobody tells you these things. So I think that's the old way. And I think there is a new way, a totally new way to not only sell what you know, but to package it in such a way that it's going to attract your person and sell it at an previously unheard of price point for knowledge courses. Done. I call it a done with you model versus a figure it out yourself course. And it's so stinking doable. You can create an online course without being techie, without all the shiny objects, without a funnel. Yes. And yes, even without a website. So if you fall into any of those like roadblocks, if you're like, yeah, I know I could do it, but like, I don't understand the tech piece of it. Or, somebody told me I needed to have a funnel. I don't know how to do that. Or, you know what? I'm just getting started. I don't even have a website yet. You don't necessarily have to have all the bells and whistles to do what I'm getting ready to share with you. You really only need three things. You do need traffic, and a place to ultimately send that traffic. So some sort of a place where you're going to send them to purchase. You need an offer, an irresistible offer that's very transformative, and I'm going to talk about this in more detail in just a moment. And then you need clients. You need people to say yes to what you are selling. And I've traditionally said you only really need the two things. You need traffic and you need an offer in order to sell online. But technically, you need people to buy as well, right? So 3 things that you need to be successful in the online course space. I've created over 200 courses. I actually create a course a month for my Business Builders Academy. I've sold over 3 million in info products alone and helped over 1 million small business owners all over the world make money with their online businesses. And what I'm getting ready to share with you is a part of that journey. What have I learned? Where are the disconnects? And then how do we fill those to where you can get the benefit that you would like from what you know? The missing component that most people have, and the people that are successful versus the people who are not successful selling their course, is a duplicatable system that anyone can follow. That seriously anyone can follow. And that is, what I teach in my Design to Scale program, is a duplicatable system that anyone can follow. And I think that's the disconnect over the years is, different people teach different models, different methodologies. And in some cases, they don't, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, please. Everybody's got incredible knowledge. We have to find our own way, but we're finding it in the wrong ways, I think, in so many cases. So there's 3 must-have ingredients to make your course sale. And this is the important part. So I'm going to underline that word. I should have underlined it, scale, because it doesn't do you any good to have a few sales. You need to make sure that whatever you create is going to sell over and over and over again so that you can make the amount of revenue that you want. Potentially replace your service-based business revenue with what you know. Or if you are a coach, stop trading time for money. Instead, create a model, a duplicatable system that you can support, that gives you back your life and still creates that revenue stream that you want. So going back to what is the pieces of this, you need one ideal client. I would say that's key. You need to know from the perspective of getting them to buy one ideal client who has a core problem they want a solution for, with a highly specific transformation. Now, this is really key. So there's so many people out there that are selling, I would call how-to courses or tactical courses. And I just attended a mastermind, and one of the things, probably the biggest thing that I learned during the 3 days that we were there, we talked about the difference between tactics and principles. And if you have a principle-based course, you do share some tactics, right, to get the outcome. But if it's principles are things that are always true, tactics change. So, for example, if I'm telling you how to create market an online course, there is literally like so many tactics I could tell you, like go post on Instagram, go do this, that, or the other thing. But my duplicatable system is built on principles that don't change. And that's the disconnect for so many people who are creating courses. They are following the shiny objects. They're following all the tactics and or creating courses that are sharing tactics instead of focusing in on principles, things that are time honored, proven processes that can get a real transformation for people. So I have 4 easy peasy steps to creating a successful and scalable online course for you guys today. And we're going to break them down because I think that this is, when we get to the end of this, you'll have the components. You'll know what you need in order to create a truly successful and scalable online course. It really starts with the foundation, or building the right foundation, packaging it correctly, messaging it correctly, super powerful, and then, creating a price point that is value-based to your person. So results and revenue are going to be just the 4 pieces. We're going to go into each one of these separately. So the research, I think that a lot of times, and feel free to raise your hand if this is you, a lot of times we create things because we know our person needs it. Now, this is key to understanding this. Do not beat yourself up around this, because the reality is we know what our person needs, but you can't sell what they need if they don't want it. Okay. And they're not searching for it. They're not looking for it. I can tell people all day long that they need to be able to list, but if they're not ready for it and they're not receiving it, not hearing it, then I'm going to struggle to sell my course. Right. So you need to do the research before you do anything else. You need to make sure that they not only want it. There's this old saying, let me back up for a second. There's this old saying that you sell them what they want and then you give them what they need. So you have to understand what it is that the outcome, what is it that they want? And then, during the principal part of what you teach is, sharing how they get it. So the research piece breaks down into 3 core pieces. It starts with you and your backstory. I really feel like this is super powerful, and I'll share why in just a minute. You need to do the market research, and then you need to focus on that transformation. What is that transformation for your person? So let's talk about the backstory first. Understanding your unique niche, whichever way you say it, that is tied to your personal story. This is going to be super powerful. I think it's probably the one way that you stand out in a crowded marketplace, because this is the reality. Let's say you are let's just say you're a social media manager. I'll use that as a quick example. It's something I'm very familiar with. And you've been doing social media management for others. You would like to teach your processes, your systems to help other stay-at-home moms create that same business model so that they can stay home, create a revenue stream while they're at home, serve a business owner who needs help with their social media, essentially. But what's your backstory? In that context, the struggle is what struggle did that person, that social media manager, when she first started her business, or either she or he started their business, what was that backstory? What did it look like? Why did that person start that business? And then what was the journey to getting where they are? So here's an example, though, of a very specific, and I think this is where you have to get super specific. I help fill in the blank, right? Whoever your ideal client is, and then whatever your specific process is, streamline their processes so that they can minimize waste and boost their profits. That's the specific transformation, right? People really want the specific transformation. They want to stop, in this particular example, they want to stop wasting, time, money, resources. And then they want to get more money. At the end of the day, so much of my space, anyway, when I'm trying to help other people, if I dig down into their why, all the way to the root of it, in many cases, it's, I want to make more money. I want more. Sometimes it's not just always about the money. Sometimes it's more about visibility, but it's always more. It's more, fill in the blank. Your most profitable and best business idea comes from within yourself. It's tied to your experiences, the skill sets that you have, your rare expertise. We all develop our own processes, our own systems for, doing whatever it is that we do and whatever we know. Your story, the obstacles that you've overcome, the lessons you've learned through the process, through that journey that you've had in your own business. Those are core components that you roll into your unique value proposition. So it takes that person from zero and it shows them that you started at zero and then you were able to get to a successful place using whatever XYZ, whatever your system is, whatever your knowledge base is. So that you can take them from zero to success. It showcases that you understand them, that you get them. And it's, if you think about it through this lens, think about it through and ask these questions of yourself. What is the most powerful transformation that you've been through? What is the impact that you want to create through the lessons that you have learned? Much of what I do on a daily basis is focused around shortening the learning curve for others. I don't want people to struggle. If I figure, out how to do something, I want to tell people about it. I don't want to hoard that. I want to share it. So again, taking the zero person, again, depending on what your area of expertise is, they start at that place where they have a pain point. And then you're sharing your lessons learned, and ultimately the success that you have. And that's your unique value proposition. What is currently out there that serves a transformation like yours? So that's also part of the research phase where you look around. What is currently serving that same transformation and looks like what you're doing or what you want to build? This is what I found a long time ago, and this has been very, very powerful in my business. My person is a previous version of me. And in most cases, especially when you're trying to sell your knowledge, your person is probably a previous version of you as well. So if you look at everything through that lens, then it's going to be so much easier to relate to that person because you've been there, you understand it. So definitely make sure that you think about it through that lens. Like, where was I when I started? And then where were you along the journey? What did you need? And that's a powerful part of understanding the back end and connecting the dots for your person. So think about it through this lens. What attracts you? What repels you? So I've been around for so long that when something catches my eye, I really pay attention to it. Like if I'm in if I'm scrolling through Facebook, for example, and I see an ad and a headline catches my attention, I'm like, wow, that's a really great headline. And I make note of that. I save it usually in my saved pile because Facebook gives us that opportunity to save things. And then things that repel me, same thing. Like I wouldn't say that, or I wouldn't try to attract people to me through that message or whatever. And then what resources did you use to get where you are? Those are all things that, you need to be aware of as you're trying to go through this process. First things first, from a research perspective, once you've looked at yourself, the next thing is competing offers. What else is out there that looks like your thing, is maybe serving up the same type of transformation. But taking a peek, go to the Google machine. This is the very first thing I do when I'm doing market research is go check it out. What lane are you in? What category are you in? How are people messaging it? That way you can model what you are doing if it makes sense. Again, through the lens that I just talked about. Does that attract you? Because if you are a previous version of yourself, or your client, your customer is a previous version of you, use that as a meter. Like, does it attract you? Does it repel you? Second thing you can do is what are the top courses offers on the market in your niche? So that goes back to where do you find those things? So if you've gone to the Google machine, in some cases, you're going to find blog posts. You're going to find a bunch of things that might not necessarily tell you what other courses or offers are in the market. So dig a little deeper. Go to resources like Udemy or Skillshare. Now, I want to say this real quick, and I'm going to talk about this more in a minute. But when you are looking at other people's things, doing the market research, okay, you found a coach that's doing this, or somebody selling this course, and specifically in the Udemy and the Skillshare space, because these are what I call low ticket courses. Sorry for the dogs barking, y'all. But this is live and at home kind of thing. Somebody's at the door and they are letting us know. But Udemy and Skillshare, don't pay attention to the prices, please, 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 because that anchors you in a place that is unhealthy for your business. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, so do not even pay attention to pricing, because I think that is the biggest thing that's broke in the course space today. Is you as the knowledge base, the brain behind what it is that you have convinced yourself in many cases that what you know is not valuable enough to charge for it. So I want you to not pay attention to any pricing, okay, as you're doing this market research. The next thing is go over to Amazon. Take a peek at what are the top books related to your niche, your category, whatever content you feel like you could create a course around. And then look at the best and worst reviews. And I say this because a lot of times a book review will tell you all the amazing stuff about the book. It really helped me with blah, 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 blah. But the ones that leave negative reviews or leave reviews that I never want a negative review, but honestly, negative reviews are so valuable because they tell you where your holes are. And if you are doing the research, it's a way to use somebody else's research or somebody else's platform, essentially, to find the holes in a specific space so that you can fill them before you actually have a problem and you get the negative review. Does that make sense? The fourth thing is, who are the influencers in this particular niche or this particular category? Go to blogs, check out YouTube. YouTube is going to be a fount of information for you, simply because, one, you can search and you can find the top rated content there. Google, obviously, we've talked about Google, even Instagram. Find the people that are serving your person, see what they're doing. How are they messaging it? Because those are going to be super value-based to you. That way you're not creating something that people ultimately are not going to buy just because you think you know what they need. Or more importantly, you haven't done the research first. And the fifth strategy I have for you is just ask. I mean, if you already have a community, this is going to be super powerful for you. Ask what your your person, if you have a list, for example, send out an ask campaign or do an ask campaign so that you can find out what their struggles are, what their pain points are, what words they use. Post on social media and ask those questions as well. Do polls on social media so that you can get critical feedback and data. I think that is going to be super, super powerful for you because you're kind of hearing it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. If you don't already have a community, though, do all the other things. I would suggest you do all the other things regardless. But if you don't have those, a connected community of people that you can tap into, then that's another issue for you. But please, 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 if you don't get anything else out of today other than this, when you're doing your market research, do not pay any attention to other people's pricing models. Because again, I'm getting ready to share something with you that nobody else tells you. They don't paint this possible for you. And this is where the market's going. I'm just here to tell you that too. And you can come back to me in a year and you can say, Kim, I wish I'd listened to you because you were right. Or you can just listen to me now. Okay. I'm just saying that sounds a little egotistical, but yeah, I'm just going to throw it out there and own it, stand on it, all those things. Okay. So the second step is revolutionize. And I say this in the context of a transformation. You're trying to provide a revolutionary transformation in a principle-based way. So it's not about shiny object tactics. It's about what is a consistent transformation that will change people's lives, or change their businesses, depending on what your area of expertise is. Lots of times, and I've been guilty of this because I've done the traditional model of online courses. And what I have found is that most people don't even go through the courses. They purchase it, and then a couple months later, we'll go look and we'll look at the view times on the videos. And it's so disheartening because you pour your heart and soul into creating this content for people so that you can change their world, their lives, their business, and then they don't go through it. It's just so, so disheartening. How many of you guys have bought a course that you haven't gone through? I have many times over. And as an educator, to understand that you're not providing the transformation, it doesn't matter if it's not your fault. You have to understand this is a reality of where we are today. And if we truly want to provide a transformation for our people, we have to change our model. Okay. So good morning, Owen. Good to see you. Laquita, good to see you. I see you said you bought the course, right? Who hasn't? Most people teach a ideal client avatar model. And I'm not saying that your ideal client avatar is not important. I'm just going to share a different thought process with you. And if it makes sense to you, this is the model that I teach, is don't lead with your ideal client avatar. So many of us try to come up with that perfect person. Susie, my perfect ideal client, customer, buyer, whatever, her name is Susie. She shops at Target. She's between the ages of 45 and 55 or whatever your age bracket is. She's got 2 kids. She's got a couple of dogs, right? Like that's what we've traditionally been taught. And I'm going to, again, not saying that is not important, that you don't want to know who your person is, but I want to look at this through a different lens and shift your thought processes on this. So let me give you a couple of examples. We have been working with, we teach this method in our Design to Scale program. And we're actually working on a whole course around this because we have a framework that we call the Clear Messaging Blueprint. And it basically teaches people how to get super clear in their messaging. So I want you to take a look at this website and look at how it's all over the place. And can you in 3 seconds tell what this person is delivering? we give you the edge you need to succeed in today's market. How does that matter to me? Got outplacement. You're getting exactly what you paid for. I don't know, right? So if you take that page and you shift it to this, get the job you really want. Expert coaching to help you break the cycle of frustration in your job search. So which one of these is actually going to get the person that you want to click that schedule a free consultation? Is it going to be the first one or is it going to be the second one? So getting clarity of your message, and you'll notice here that they are not talking about their person at all, right? They're not saying, get the job you really want. They're just saying, if you want the job you really want, then I can help you. So I kind of am of the opinion that if you get super, super clear on the transformation that you offer your person, they're going to self-select into that transformation. If I say, I help, postpartum moms overcome blah, 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 right? Now, you may say to yourself, well, obviously that's going to be a woman. It's going to be, somebody within a certain age bracket. Yes. But what happens when you get really clear on that is your person, your ideal avatar, spits out on the other side of it. So what I have found is that my ideal person is who I think it is for the most part. But I got really clear on my transformation. So this is the key thing here. People buy what they can understand the quickest. And if you're not clear on what transformation that you offer, it really doesn't matter who your person is, right? So if you are uber clear on the solution that you offer, your person is going to self-select in. And by virtue of that, you will build your ideal customer avatar because they're going to self-select into the solution piece of it. And I'm not saying that you don't, you won't find that person. It may be Susie who has 2 children between the ages of, 45 and 55, and she shops at Target or whatever. It may absolutely be that, because it's still about our vibe. Our vibe in the online space does attract certain people to us, but it won't attract those people to us if we don't talk about the solution, the problems that they have. The problems that they have is what attracts them to us, because we're offering a solution to those problems. And they're searching for solutions to those problems, by the way, which is why your website and messaging is so, so powerful. So once you are super clear about your transformation, what problems that you are solving for your person, then you create a content checklist around that. And then you talk about it everywhere. Are you educating your people around the transformation that you offer? Is it providing context within your area of expertise? Is it actually solving a problem for them? Is it sharing some sort of a roadmap or a plan so that they know what they have to do in order to get the transformation you're saying they can get? Is it relevant to their pain points? And are you using a clear call to action for your engagement? And this is so true. It doesn't matter where that is, where you're providing this content. If it's on social media, if it's on your blog, if it's on a YouTube video, wherever it is, everything should fall under that content checklist and the framework of your transformation. Okay. Value-based content is what turns those random people, they're out in the social space or the interwebs, wherever they bump into you or wherever they're searching for you. I think so many times we get so lockstep into our social media stuff that we forget that people are searching for us. No. Let me restate that. They're not searching for us specifically. Like, they're not saying, hey, I'm searching for Kim, or I'm searching for Laquita, or I'm searching for Ron. That's not what they're saying when they go to the Google machine. They're going to the Google machine and they're typing in whatever the solution they're looking for to the problem that they have. Can you be found with the content that you're creating? Can you imagine how many people are actually searching for solutions that you provide, and they're not connected to you on social anywhere? They're on the Google machine looking for a solution to the problem. They're on YouTube looking for a solution to the problem that they have. If you can't be found because you've been creating content around those problems that they're searching for a solution for, how much money are you losing? Are you leaving on the table? Ouch, right? And then the next step is you got to talk with people. Content will drive opportunities for connection. I recommend that you use voice whenever and wherever you can. So, if you're on Instagram, use the voice feature on the DM function there. If you are on Facebook, send a voice message. It's a way for us to emote, because people can actually hear our voice, hear our excitement, and connect with that on a higher level. But talk with people. If you have good content, they're going to talk with you. They're going to reach out. They're going to have questions. They're going to make comments. And that's how you start to build relationships with people in the social space. Conversation starters, ask them questions like, what other investments have you made to try to solve the problem that they just, said they have? Or if you could use a magic wand to create a solution that delivered everything you need, what would it include? So ask the things in the social space so that you can get a clarity on what it is your person wants from a transformational perspective, and build relationships so that when you have that course in place, you have an opportunity to reach back out. I have a solution now. It's like having a ready-made person they're like, oh my gosh, you're reading my mind. I want that now. I need it. The third step in this is revenue, what to charge. Now, this is where I'm going to just lay it on the line because I feel like that there's a lot of people out there. I've done it. Sold my courses for, anywhere from 40. Well, actually, I've sold all the way down to $7 to all the way up to a $2,000 roughly price point on what I'm going to call do it yourself or figure it out yourself. I've changed it. A lot of people call them DIY courses, where, they just get a login. Sometimes you have a Facebook group to support the buyers, especially at a higher ticket price. But the reality is there's still a figure it out yourself component versus, and that's kind of the model. And a lot of people teach this model because they think, hey, you just sell it and it's off your hands. You made the money. It's now their problem. Essentially, they're the ones that have to work for the transformation. But again, going back to, there's a problem in the space. And any time there is a problem in the space, there's a gap in what's working and what isn't, there's opportunity. And that's what I want to talk to you about. There is a breakdown in the traditional course pricing model and how we provide support and the true transformation that people are looking for. People have bought the courses. We've all done it. We've admitted to it. We bought the course. We didn't go through the course, or even if we did, we didn't get the transformation we thought we would. And sometimes it's because it doesn't exactly match our model. It could be a variety of reasons, but so many people don't get the transformation. So again, there's a huge gap here. How do we fill that gap? And how do we actually get paid the value of what we know? How many of you feel like you've spent thousands and thousands of dollars in hours and hours and hours? You can't even calculate how many hours you spent learning what you know. Me. I've been at this 30 years. I can't even begin to tell you how much money I've spent learning, absorbing, implementing, probably millions. And I'm not making a joke there. Seriously. So why in the world do we feel like we should create a course after all the time we poured into it, all the money we poured into it, and sell our knowledge for $297, $597, even $2,000? Is that a fair trade? Okay. So now you've done the research, you've decided on your revolutionary transformation, and you already know that there are people who want what you have. And now it's time to go back. I set the stage for trying to shift your dynamic from where you probably think from, and again, most of us are not willing we bought the courses. We know we didn't get the transformations. And then I've shifted that dynamic a little bit to looking at it through our lens as people who have knowledge and expertise. We've done the work, we've spent the time, we've spent the money to know whatever's in our brain, whatever our processes are, whatever knowledge base we have. So how do you actually pay for that? I mean, price that, not pay for it. So I want you to stop for a second. I kind of, like I said, I set the stage. I want you to stop and look at this through a little different lens. I said this years ago. I don't know where I said it. I put it out into the world. I think initially it might have been a social media post, but it has literally been shared all over the internet. I made this list one time of top inspirational quotes, and there was quotes on there like from Ben Franklin and Barack Obama and little old me. This was the quote, okay? If you don't value your time, neither will others. Stop giving away your time and talents and start charging for it. So what we know is incredibly valuable, and yet we are absolutely putting it on the bargain rack and selling it for, not even pennies on the dollar for what it's actually worth. So my challenge to you is to ditch that mentality. No more $9.97 or it's 19. So no more. And if you've got courses that are like, I mean, there are some places where there's a place for those low ticket courses, but no more $9.97 to $2,000 courses. You can charge $5K, $7K, $10K, even more for what you know. So my challenge to you is to understand there is such a thing as what I'm going to call a high ticket course. And I believe this is where we need to go. I believe there's a gap in people getting the transformation that we're selling because there's nobody to hold them accountable. There's nobody to keep the carrot in front of them. That's what I say. So like if you buy XYZ, let's just make it super broad. Hey, I want to learn, you buy a course, how to use Instagram to make more money in your business. That's super broad, right? That is not that's a very big transformational statement. And you buy it, you don't really get the result from it. But if you had somebody that was helping you, coming alongside you, and they were micro coaching you, maybe is the best way of saying it, that they're your guide and they can work with you over a period of time. And they keep that transformation. They're going to say to you every week, you can make money on Instagram. And I'm going to show you how. Try this thing. Their course might be the principles of Instagram. You need to know those, but each and every week you can bring your specific questions and get answers. You have a guide. You have a pocket Instagram pro and I think that's the difference. We have to fill that gap. We have to come alongside of our people. We have to do a done with you model. And when you do a done with you model, you can charge big dollars for it. And people are willing to pay it because they've done all the things that don't work. They've spent the money on things that don't work. They know they need help. They know they need a personal touch. They know they need a guide to help them move forward. But the nice thing about this is, and this is where it's super exciting. So lean in. I'm super excited about this, is you don't have to have a course yet. What? You don't have to have a course to do this. You can actually get your first version off the ground in less than 30 days. I honestly think you could do it in less than a week. So when I did my first high ticket course, I didn't even have the course yet. Didn't have it. I pre-sold it. And then I fulfilled on it. I stayed a week in front of my students. So let me share how I did this. You call it a charter program. Some people call it beta. I like the word charter. Beta sounds like it's charter. Well, I'll just tell you what I think, because you know me, I do. Charter sounds, I don't know, it sounds a little bit more professional. Beta sounds like, you're just testing something out and you're not sure if you're going to stick with it. It just has a different connotation in my brain. I could be totally off, but that's my connotation. It's like, Okay, you're just testing something out, not sure if it's going to stick, but a charter program is a beginning idea, concept, a transformation that you're offering. It once you start selling it, it gives you some cash flow, and it's not like a little bit of cash flow. Okay, it's like if you sell your first high ticket course for $5,000, and you can, then you've got $5,000 in your pocket versus $597 for one sale, or $997 for one sale. See the difference? You've got some confidence that you are going to be able to not only sell what you know, but you're going to be able to sell it for a price point that makes more sense in the context of all the time and money you've poured into getting to where you are. And then this is the part that's really powerful, is you're actually going to be able to get the results for your person. And this is like my entire why. It's like, if I can't get results for people with what I know, then why bother? Like, and that's what I've been doing. I've been selling these courses and I'm not seeing the results. And it is so freaking annoying to me. I'm just going to just flat out say it. I'm just so over sending people off to try to figure it out on their own. If that's you and you want something that's actually going to create revenue, sizable revenue, and you want to actually create a transformation for people, then it's time to step up and change the model, change your mindset. And let's talk about the fourth piece of this pie. It's results. How do you deliver I told you didn't even have to have a course, right? Deliver your course. Stay 1 week ahead of your clients, your customers, your buyers. This is how you put your charter program out. You pre-sell it. You just pre-sell the transformation, the promise that you're going to deliver to your person, and then you pre-sell it. Stay 1 week ahead of them. Keep in mind that this is the first version. That's why it's called a charter program. What you learn along this journey, you will go back and you'll edit it. You'll make it better. You'll fix the problems. You will rework it. But this is the key. While you've done all this, you've made money along the way and you've provided a real transformation for people. So there's 3 core parts when you're delivering your course. There's the knowledge base. So there's the curriculum. Yes, there is a course. There is knowledge that you have to share. And it's broken down. I'm going to talk more about that. What does that look like in just a moment? There's a coaching component. That's the guide piece where you are going to help them, not just say, hey, here's the curriculum, go figure it out. Here's a login, go figure it out. And then there's a community part. Now, the community part is probably, if I had to put a value on these things, this is the way I would order this. I feel like the community is almost the most valuable part of this process because it gives them a connection point of other people who are just like them, who are in the same boat. And as they see other people, process through and start to have success, they're like, I can do this. Look at this. They're doing it. I can do it too. So having that peer-to-peer model, I think is super powerful. The guide piece, the coaching component, is probably the next most value-based piece of this because they can ask specific questions. They can get guidance along the way. The course itself, the knowledge base, I would put that at last. Even though it's important, you have to have it because people want to buy the thing, right? They want to feel like they've bought the course. But the other 2 components are probably, I would argue, the most important part of it. And this is how you deliver it. You deliver it live to your clients in a span of 8 weeks. So once a week, you have a course. You have a block of time where you deliver it live if you're creating this as you go. If you already have a course, it's a much easier process. But during that, you support them. You have a Q&A, you have private community of some sort. Facebook groups are great for this, but this creates a real kind of a mastermind environment or a mastermind culture. And more importantly, it creates real transformation for your person. And then you take a look, like what metrics, like, what kind of traffic worked the best? Where did you get the best quality leads? Where did your clients actually come from? What client results did you get for people? How much money did you make? How much cash did you collect? In some cases, people don't, if you have a payment plan, for example, you may have a couple people that don't pay the entire amount. So how much cash did you actually collect? And then what is the profit margin as you go? You'll find that you are going to make so much more money with a high ticket course versus, I'm going to call it a low ticket course, even at the $2,000 price point. And you're really going to be helping people. And if that is your goal, if you really know that you know something that is going to help other people, and trust me, you do, each and every one of you do, then you have to step into that. And this is the best part. So, I mean, there's lots of best parts in this training, but once you have that amazing program, you almost create your own, I call this a marketing flywheel, but it's almost a referral flywheel. Because if you have an amazing program, you enroll people in it, you actually get a transformation for people, they're going to tell other people about it. And then guess what? You're going to almost skip you're going to be able to enroll new people, get more transformations, and more people are going to be talking about it. And you become known for whatever it is, because you are truly getting a transformation for others. What I find a lot of times, and again, I've done this for years where I've just sold the Figure It Out Yourself courses. So again, this is coming at you from a place of, I've done that. I see a gap, and the gap is where there's opportunity. And the gap, in my opinion, is stop doing the Figure It Out Yourself stuff, do a done with you model, sell a high ticket course, and truly impact people that need you. So now you're ready to start creating a course that sells and scales. That's an important piece of it. So this is the part that I told you everybody had a chance to win. I'm going to be doing 15-minute calls with anybody who wants to talk about this, about in the context of, do you have knowledge that you could package, message, and sell at a $5,000 to $10,000 price point? If you would like to have that conversation, just go to kimgross.com/power call. If you're unsure, you're like, I'm not sure. Do I know enough? Is what I have, something that I can put into this model? They're 15 minutes. We're going to just do a quick, very quick. It's all about you. This is not a sales call. Please, I want you to understand that this is not a sales call. This is all about you figuring out where you are, what you would like to accomplish with what you know. Does it fit this model? And if you'd like to know that, all you have to do is go to kimgross.com/power call, book a call, and we'll have that conversation and just see if this is where you need to be. So what was your biggest takeaway today, y'all? I know I'm kind of throwing some shade at the online course space, but like I said, there's a gap. We need to fill it. And more importantly, I want you to go back to those scenarios I gave you on the front side of, who's waiting for you? Who's waiting for you? And because you're hoarding it, or afraid, or don't know the process, don't think you can do it. Somebody out there needs what you know. And, if you're hiding behind other things that don't really give the transformation you'd like to, or, really not driving your business in a monetary, or to the degree that you would like it to be in the monetary space, the bank account, then, maybe it's time to look at a new model that it serves not only you better financially, but it also serves the people you serve. Yes. So biggest takeaway is, don't be afraid to charge more to get people the desired result. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that's where we are. We absolutely need, and I love it. I'm seeing my Slack is dinging because we have it set up to where the calls that are booked come into Slack, and so I can hear my Slack is dinging. Yes, that means I touched some nerves, and I've got people's brains are whirring, and I'm excited to talk about what it is and does it fit this model? It's going to be fun. And that's my end goal here. Someone absolutely needs what you know. So, I gave a couple of examples. One of the things that I see a lot, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I need fill in the blank. It's usually a service-based thing. Well, I need a sales funnel, or I need to know how to use Facebook ads, or, fill in the blank. Or I need to do more blogging, or I need to post on social media. And yet I'm not saying those things are not important, but I want you to maybe shift your thinking a little in the context of, are you truly serving your person? If you can say emphatically, heck yes, I am. Or are the things that you're doing just like Band-Aids and they're not serving you or them? I know I'm being a little tough love today, so I do always, but again, I just I want what's best for you, and I want what's best for your people. What is it that you can do that is going to make a difference? So Barb had a great question. Would access to this high ticket transformation course be lifetime access? Yes, it would. So what we do with my Design to Scale is it is lifetime access, and then we work with people for a year. What we're finding is that most people, even though we're not at a year mark, but I mean, a lot of people will bump up to like my mastermind once they start getting results, or they'll just stay because of the community. It's a powerful component to have that connection and know that people are there or with you, and support you and cheer for you. Because how many of you guys, and this is powerful, how many of you can walk out your front door and can have even one person that is a support system for you? So I'll just share my thing. So I have great neighbors. I love them dearly, but I can't walk out my front door and, go across the street and have coffee with my neighbor across the street and talk about what I do. It would be like I was talking Greek to her. She'd be like, what? It's not the same. It's, when you are, you're in a community of people that are like you, that are going through the same things, having that connection is we're no longer alone, and it makes such a big difference on so many fronts. Yeah. So MJ is saying, you're not the only one, MJ. I'm just saying, it's seriously, I can't touch anybody within my, my neighbors that would understand or get what I do. My neighbor that used to live across the street from me, she worked for some sort of a marketing company. And she calls me up one day and she's like, Kim, why didn't you tell me who you were? I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, we just had this meeting. We were trying to find somebody to help us with social media and your name came up. And she's like, she's my neighbor. So she had no idea what I did. It just kind of came up in the context of a meeting. But it was really weird to be on the receiving end of that phone call. Like, why didn't you tell me who you were? I'm just me. Okay. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful to you guys. And I really hope that, even though, like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade on anything you've already built or anything anybody else is teaching or other things. I'm just saying, I feel like there's some opportunity. There's a huge gap in the market right now, and you can fill it and get paid something that is value-based for the knowledge that you've accumulated versus trying to give it away. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. These low cost things, we're basically just devaluing what all the time and energy that we put into getting where we are. All right. So look at this, MJ, right, girl? Yes. My low ticket courses have not worked anyway. Ready to try something new. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to sell enough low ticket courses to make a financial impact in your business. And if you know that most people are not going through those courses, think about that for us. I'm just telling you, most people do not go through courses. I can open up my back end and show you. Even people who paid thousands of dollars for things, like $2,000 for a course, they do not go through the content, which means I am not helping them. So anyway, hopefully it's been helpful. And I'm looking forward. I keep hearing the Slack ding. So I know a lot of you have booked calls. I can't wait to talk with you. Like I say, it'll be just a quick call. It is about trying to figure out if this is the model that is for you. Okay. So you guys take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think my friend Mike Gingrich is coming on next week, if memory serves me correctly. So we'll have a special guest next week. I would just like a quick, this litmus test on my side. How do you guys like me teaching and training, or a combination style of the show where I usually bring a guest on? So we've been kind of throwing this around. Do I do more training like this, where warning, you're going to get the reality of it. I don't pull no punches. Or do you prefer the interview style, or a combination? Maybe I need to do a poll on this. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and God bless.